Welcome back to the Spire of Sorcery! We've missed a couple of updates on the video side last week and the week before as we've been too busy working and then had some malfunctioning equipment. We set up a new scene for the recording and too late we figured out that the sound wasn't really going in, so we had an amazing half-mute presentation last week. In this video, we'll show you a bunch of new stuff that we've added. We've added personal traits. For a long time, that's been a goal, and finally we have different characters playing out, reacting differently to different environments. I'll show you sustenance and hunger and starvation. Food resources, they are now seeded across the map. Prepared cooked food, what we call it, and the whole new screen called Cooking Pot, which is now in the game in addition to the alchemic cauldron. Trying to think what else. We've changed the encounter flow, so we've addressed this elephant in the room that things were happening clearly. First, they happened fast, but not really understandably. Second, they happened very understandably. You could understand what's going on, but it just took a long time, especially if you had too many tokens converting, interacting with each other, and so on. So now I think we're very close to resolving the whole flow. And even though we introduced game lock, even though it's not finished yet, but it's already helpful. If you've lost something, you just go there and like, what exactly did happen here? And you get it. So let me show it to you in the format of, how to play. Because I think it's been a few weeks since you guys have seen what was really cooking. So let me transition to the game. And now let's start the game. The first thing that you will see in terms of changes, I don't know if you want to use this pool of characters or maybe some other. Let's see. Generally, personally, when I play, I like different characters. I like a motley crew of characters. So let's see. Probably I'll go with these guys. Why not? So in addition to showing you the stats of the characters, we also show you preview at least one trait, and every character has from 2 to 5 traits. So she suffers from cold weather. It's debatable whether or not we should really explain to you here what this means. We decided not to, because we want a bit more roleplay and less number choosing. So let me take her. And then this guy, look at his face and remember it, because I have something for you. We've also updated all the visual consumption effects. So his mustache, we call them commander's mustache. They're quite nice, but there is now a way in the game to grow mustache like his. He dislikes concocting, but he has excellent memory, so I'm gonna grab him. This guy is ruthless. So he'll be happy when enemies are killed. Well, sure, why not? What about her? She's scared of thunderstorms. I'm not a fan of... And she's scared of thunderstorms too. He is a useful ally. He finds concocting easy, means he's gonna get less fatigue when concocting. But he is much more valuable because he's an efficient alchemist. That means that instead of preparing one potion, he will prepare 2. Gonna grab him. Now, I would love... okay, so she gets happy when she concocts. I'd love to have someone who has something good going on about cooking food. She's unconcerned by hunger. That's generally... and she's a strong woman. That's generally good, but... yeah, you know what? Still I'm looking for someone who will help me cook better. But it's hard to say because we only show you one trait, right? Well, let's take this strong woman. So here already you can see the first cooked food. This is Traveler's Ration, gives you 80 points, and in terms of taste, nothing special. It's probably the best long expiry date food that you will have. So let's go. Alright, so already here you can see the food resources that we see on the map. There's locust buds, there's slugs, And these two resources, they're seated in the wetlands. In the forest, there's two other resources, which I think we will discover a bit later. You heard the sound. That's the sound of improving mood. So let's see. Her mood improved. And why? Because she's an indiscriminating hoarder. She has a mood increase every time we pick up some stuff. So that's good for her. As long as you keep picking stuff, she's gonna go up, and that gives her faster reaction, so she can dodge some, bullets, some attacks of the enemy. So locust buds. What do we know about locust buds? They're not great tasting locusts. -2. They're slightly toxic, so for example, she can eat without the problem. And actually, you can consume like everything in the game. So how about we try to eat and see what happens? Okay. So she's got the change of hair color. It's called Flame Hat. So there's a lot of different visual changes now in the game. I invite you all to try it out and enjoy. But what I wanted to tell you, to show you, is that in addition to concocting, there is now a cooking pot. And I played a bit already this version, so I have some recipes available. I can prepare from those locust buds something that's called baked bud clusters with bitter ant sauce. It's kind of tasty, and it gives me 40 sustenance points. The general rule is that if you take resources from the same biome, like these guys, the locust buds and the slugs, then the result will be 40 if it's the same thing, 50 if it's different, but to go up to 60, you have to take something like gnat carcass that exists in the forest and something from a different biome. Then you can have grilled ribs with spicy maggot sauce. I love it. We also have locust dumplings, and that's not a very tasty thing, but gives you great sustenance. It's locust balls with a thick crust of slime. Now, how do you cook? We've changed a little bit the concoction and the cooking in the sense that, first of all, the action costs you 3 fatigue. Second of all, you have to appoint a dedicated cook or alchemist. So we're in the cooking screen. Let's see if anyone has any cooking specialties. He dislikes concocting. He doesn't care. Doesn't really have anything. He eats excessively. He eats more than usual. She also eats excessively. Oi oi. But okay, so he's an efficient alchemist, but no one really has any special skills about cooking food. So my choice right now is, seeing that I still have 2 rations, I can cook this, I can prepare this and get my baked bud clusters that are okay. Or I can see if I can find some carcass and then cook grilled ribs. More sustenance and better taste. And since taste affects mood, I'm gonna do just that. In terms of alchemy, I've got no resources, so I cannot really do anything. So let's get those slugs, and at least we'll be able to mix a couple of things. All right, where are we with the slugs? Here you go, the slugs. So now I can make those locust balls, but they're horribly tasty. Oh, also I can make fermented slug jelly. That's yucky. That's -15. I will probably try to avoid it. There are some characters who enjoy bad food, but I don't have any of these guys. Also waiting for me, further deadline is pulled cartilage cooked with sweet roots, which is kind of okay. My favorite, to be honest, is pressed berry cake with forest nuts. I find it very traditional. But for equally great taste, you can also try berry and slug skewers. Apparently, if you grill on the fire the slugs, then they get tasty. Now let's assemble our first party. Just go and open that chest. That's 4. Oh, that's a lot of memory. Look at his memory. He's amazing. So I'm gonna give him an amulet then, and probably dress him up like that. Yep. There are two tabs here now. These show you temporary effects, and this shows you permanent effects. The same is available here. So you can preview their traits. You can also preview the equipment. Here is the sustenance indication. So let's talk about sustenance a little bit. The party has to eat cooked food. And when the party eats cooked food, the sustenance reserve goes up. I think it goes up to maybe 300. So daily consumption for me is 12, seeing that 3 of them, or some other characters, they eat 2 each a day, so that's 6, and then 2 of them eat more, so they eat 3 a day, that gives me 12. And in 2 days, the party gets hungry. What does it mean? It means that every day that people are hungry, they're going to get -5 to their mood, and then they're going to get starving, and that's going to be -10. With a few exceptions. I think one of them, so mood penalties for him double. So it's going to be super hard. He's going to go all the way in here, and his beautiful memory will be lost because his mood trait is memory loss. And then someone, I think I saw it. Yeah, she's unconcerned by hunger. So that means that even though she's eating a lot, she doesn't really care if she goes hungry. So this harder concentration is not going to kick in because even though she's hungry, she's going to be unconcerned. By the way, let's see what happens if we eat some slugs. For this, I need someone with a good stomach. 7 is good, yep. Because the slugs have toxicity of 5. So how about I eat some slugs? Oh, changes the eyes. Sideways glance. So you can experiment by consuming different things. I kind of forget what this does. So let's see. If I give it for you to try. All right, green hair. How do we call it? Swampy mane. All right, so you can pretty much customize your characters this way if you find different substances. So now let me show you just the basis of this chest, the improvement in the encounter flow. I apologize for some of the missing text. I'm just testing the Japanese version now, so we still haven't figured out some of the characters. So let's switch to English, okay? What happened before? You had the tokens combining in animation and it took some time. What happens now? Well, let's see. First of all, here is the tooltip that now immediately shows you the consequences of what's going to happen and what can you do with this chest. It's the supplies from the Spire. It takes 1 dispel token to open it, and you can see the icon for loot. This is a sack, and then the icon for destruction. You can also right mouse button click to go into the encyclopedia, but to be honest, in the current version, encyclopedia is a mess, so we haven't updated it in a couple of months, and it's still on track to be updated a bit later on. So let's, first of all, let's just open and grab all the items. I need 1 dispel token, so that's this, and I just need 1 more. Well, he's got 4. It's very good. Okay, end turn. We've changed a bunch of sounds. Thanks for the feedback, by the way, to those who play, those who watch. Some things, like, people react differently to different sounds. So it takes a community to improve the overall direction. So let's just open it. Ba-bam! All right. Someone's happy because we got a lot of stuff. So we get some food. Get some resources, get some alchemy. All right. And now we can probably go ahead and attack this giggler hunt. The mood, by the way, the mood is available here. You can see that she's content because she got really happy from picking up a lot of things. Everyone else is calm, so it's okay. So characters react differently to different things. You know what, let's just go there and try to get some loot. This is what I meant. So instead of showing you that the tokens were added right over the face of the character, we just show you those log entries above. And here is the log. So it's a bit crude right now, but you can see that, for example, he got fatigue in the previous encounter. And then he gave Dispel to the chest, and that was the end of the encounter. And now this encounter, some pictures are still missing, but he got a couple of protection tokens from his equipment, and then the environment effect gave him 1 poison. So that's your sort of backup plan if you didn't understand what happened. Now let's look at the hunt. The hunt takes 6 damage and gives me loot and will be destroyed. It gives also a lot. It needs 9 fire, and if it gets 4 infection, then something happens. I think it just like explodes with infection all over the place. I got a couple of conditions here. Wet environment means that when I deal fire, it runs a chance of being negated. And ignition, it's pretty hard to start a fire in wetlands, so it'll take 9 tokens to begin burning ground. Let's see what I have. I get Commander's Brew that gives me protection from frost, useless in this case, and I got Ore Master's Folly that will create burning ground for 3 rounds. So for 3 rounds, it'll mean that it'll just add 3 fire to the hunt. Looking at the elements, what I want to do is probably give it a lot of acid. Now, what are my choices? What are my options? I can give it 2 acid right away, or I can give it as much as 4. Just take some time to assemble. Let me go for that. Also, don't forget that there is a morale boost effect, which will remove, I think, a couple of fatigue points from each of my characters if I complete 3 spells in 3 rounds, which is kind of my point here. So I can spend a bit of fatigue, I think. There's lots of new animations for how tokens apply. So you just saw a basic draft of the fatigue animation. So my plan with this thing is to give it 6 damage. And to give it 6 damage, I'm gonna give it 4 acid and then hit it with damage, which will convert acid into more damage. Aha! But this guy has only 3 in memory, so I'm gonna assemble it here. It's gonna be this one. Yep. All right. So let me try. Well, I can grab some fatigue from you too. Nothing really is helpful here. Oh, this is helpful. Okay, so here you see a bit of an animation. I've just started bringing it to every interaction. I think this is end of my turn. And once we removed all those animations, so this is the environment condition that gives 1 poison to random character. You saw? Did you see it? Like, she dodged it. Why did she dodge the poison? Because she is content. And that gives her a chance to dodge an attack. That's super cool. Like, she just avoided poison. This guy got poisoned, so I'll have to heal him after the encounter. Very useful that she's a happy hoarder, so as long as I keep picking up stuff, you know, it'll be good. Now I can deal damage, but that's not my plan. My plan is first of all to complete this spell, put some acid, and then hit it with damage so it converts the acid. And for acid, I need 1 green element, and my best chances are left and right. Well, probably. Nope, she doesn't have it. Come on. Nope. Come on, people, give me some green. Another... well, alright. Yay! Another change that'll make everyone's life better is that every day now characters restore 1 fatigue. they rest. Eventually we will introduce the campfire mechanic, but it'll take some time. So let me put some acid over the hunt. 4. And now I'm gonna hit it with damage, which will convert the acid. You can see the notifications about the mechanics that happen up top. Yeah! What did I get? She's happy. I've got Night Giggler Axe. So that significantly expands my alchemic opportunities. What will I get if I mix those? Well, if I mix these two, I get Mutant Speed, which I think deals something nasty to the opponents. But about these things, I don't really know. So let's try this one. See, it's like a known result. Sure, let's go ahead. Okay, I've got Commander's Brew. Oh, this brings to my mind the whole thing. Okay, so every item you can see here, you can try to consume. If it's an item like this, it will just remove fatigue. So let's do this. Yep. And he's a bit happier, right? This removes poison. So who had poison? He had poison. So I need to, yep, clean that poison. That's good. But items that are used in encounter and somewhere else, they all have side effects if you consume them. For example, let's say that this guy says, hey, look at me, I got amazing moustache. And he says, okay, I want some. So we give him Commander's Brew. And he shaves his beard, and he gets a pretty amazing moustache. That's not limited to only the boys. I mean, let's not limit ourselves. She can look pretty wild coming from the wildlands like that. And let's say that you don't like her hair. You know what? Let's go red. And then some modifications, of course, are better than others. So I think it says I burn. I think if he drinks this, first of all, he's going to get poisoned because the toxicity is 6. Second of all, the result is not so great. What about this? Unfocused. I think something will happen to his eyes. I'm not really a big fan. But what about like this? Yep, looking good. And that's guys the extent of the changes. You see, also we show you that this has been destroyed now. We didn't know how to do it before. Cook, concoct, experiment, track your sustenance level. They're almost going hungry, so I'm gonna eat this thing just by tracking it. Yep. Explore the map, and what we're gonna do next week, seeing that it's about a month until the Steam Game Fest, is we're gonna start changing the map next week. We will go into Steam Fest with an updated map. We want to make it a bit more streamlined, a bit easier for new players who will come to try the game for the first time. Probably gonna be easier to start. Instead of getting 5 characters, you'll get 3, and then discover the 4th and the 5th as you move along. But that's our current plan. As we're gonna finish all the current sketches that you see in the game. Sometimes you meet some certain things that are not yet finished, so we're gonna try to cram it in the remaining months, and then just adjust the map so it's easier. And once we are through the fest. It's going to be all focus on shipping in early access. That means a few more maps. So going from one map to a campaign to several. And then once we're there, just going to, enter the early access and let you guys discover it. And we keep balancing as we go along. So it's been good to be back with videos. And we'll see you next week or the week after when we ship more stuff. See ya.